First and foremost, I want to thank everybody for coming here. There's a lot more people here than usual. And I just want to say thank you for covering our program and thinking enough of our program to come here and cover us the way you have. We appreciate all that exposure. I not only thank you from our university, but I thank you from the community as well. So you guys are doing an outstanding job, and I just appreciate it and very humbled by it. So thank you very much. Coming off 41-0 win against Akron, really proud of our players for the resolve. However, when you're a coach, you go back and look at some things. There were a few possessions in the first half that we stubbed our toe, hurt ourselves, didn't finish, didn't score on 3 drives in the first half, and then we really only had 3 possessions in the second half and scored on 2. But on the flip side, I thought our defense had probably one of the most dominating, if not the most dominating performance we've had on defense since I've been here, and obviously the first shutout since 2006. It's another first for a little while, so we're really proud of that. And then obviously special teams, I thought they were okay. I thought we were okay. We got to continue to improve in a lot of areas. But like any week, we got to continue to grow higher. A lot of individual performances, which I'm sure you want to talk about. But more importantly, it's about us. It's about our team. It's about their resolve, their ability to go change their best every single day and be better than they were yesterday. That's very difficult to do. I know that we talk about that, and that's one of our Fleckisms or Bronconese or gimmicks or whatever everybody calls it. But it's true. I mean, if you don't change your best and grow, you are going backwards. And changing is very hard. We define change as truthful listening. You got to be true to yourself, which is hard because a lot of us can't look in the mirror and actually look at that person. We got to look at that person and think or tell ourselves it's somebody else. And then you actually got to listen. And then you got to change. So we're doing that. Had an elite practice on Tuesday. Got to give Akron a lot of credit. They got a lot of skilled players. They got a lot of talent. But I thought our team found a way to take hold of that game. Our family took a hold of that game and dominated it for the most part. But you got to give them a lot of credit. They're well coached, good football team. But now we're 0-0, guys. We are 0-0, and we are moving on to Eastern Michigan, who's having a phenomenal year under Chris Creighton. I said that before. I told you in the press conference. I really like Chris. I think he does a phenomenal job, and he is a guy that has done it the right way. And you watch the process and the evolution of that program. And they've got some winning under their belt. And once you get winning under your belt, now here it comes. And now here comes some more waves. And then they get used to it. And then they want it more. And then it brings validity to the program, brings validity to the head coach's message all along. And the next thing you know, it just goes. And they are playing at an extremely high level. And the biggest thing you can see is how hard they play. So we've got our work cut out for us. We had a phenomenal Tuesday practice. I love the energy. I mean, it's middle to end of October, and it's 73 degrees outside, guys. And all I know is that means here comes the snow very soon. Lots of snow, if you read the Farmer's Almanac. Lots of snow. Keith Thompson, Severe Weather Center, he'll say that the water's a little warmer, more lake effect, or Robin Hook, whichever, so you can be the weatherman too. So with that, let's move on. I'm sure you have a lot of questions, and I'm here to answer them. So I'll open it up.
I wanted to ask about the defense. A couple years ago when you started turning it around, you're winning ball games, obviously, but sometimes they were shootouts. You had to score a lot of points to win, which is the way it was basically in the MAC. You know, we see a lot of crazy scores. But you said at Media Day that this year your defense was going to be able to do some things, and now you're seeing that. So with that in mind, just how proud are you of that defensive effort?
Well, I'm very proud of our defensive players, first and foremost, because a lot of those guys were the dirty water year guys. You know, they had to drink the dirty water at 1-11 or be recruited during a 1-11 season with plenty of other opportunities, but believed in row the boat, believed in the vision of the program and where we were headed. And I'm very proud of those guys for staying the course, believing in themselves, changing their best, and believing in the system. And Ed Pinkham, David Duggan, Jimmy Williams, our GAs, our entire defensive staff has worked tremendously hard. And they are the reason that we're having success. I think we're a prime example, and I'm never going to shy away from this because this really has nothing to do with me. This has to do with our coaching staff, has to do with our players. You need elite players and elite leaders to form an elite team. That's what you need. But it starts with elite people. And there are no bad teams, guys. There's just bad leaders or no leaders. And we've had to develop leaders as we've gone through here. And that's really been the only difference. I'm the same coach. I've changed my best, but I'm still the same coach. We've got pretty much the same offense. Coach Shiraka knows what to do, knows what we do a lot more, is better at it, but, you know, typically kind of the same system. Defensively, same thing. But it's the players, it's the culture, it's the family, it's the love for each other, it's the sacrifice. And that's why we believe in what we do so much. There's a lot of pressure on these young kids. Perfect. We prepared for that. You want to earn that pressure. You want to earn that right to have pressure. And we embrace it. We love it. It's hard. Don't get me wrong. It's very hard on a daily basis. But we embrace it. And I make sure they understand that most people don't ever get a chance to feel this type of pressure. And it's special. So enjoy it, but also understand how precious it really is and how fast it could be taken from you. And but again, I'm very proud of our defense. I'm very proud of where they've come and how far they've come. But we got to continue to get better because we got lucky on a few plays, and they know that. But they've also dominated the game at times too. So I think we've had 5 out of the 7 have been really elite defensive efforts, I think. There's been 2 that I haven't necessarily been that pleased with, but the players responded. After those, they responded, and very proud of them for that.
Coach, talked to Coach Creighton yesterday, and I'm noticing some parallels a little bit in the way he approaches things with his players and the way you approach things with your players. He talked about the one-game seasons, and he talked about the attitude. Do you see some parallels in their turnaround and your turnaround?
Yeah, I think they're very similar. I don't know enough about his program to talk about his program. I will say this: I think he's a phenomenal person and a phenomenal football coach, and he knows what he's doing. And there's nothing by accident that they were 2-10, 1-11, and now they're 5-2. There's nothing by accident. There's nothing by coincidence. And he's got those players playing hard. He's got a lot of talent up front defensively. They rotate eight defensive linemen, and they platoon them, and they're really good. And he's done an amazing job of getting those guys to believe and buy in. But I don't know what the comparisons are. I just know he's got a really, really talented football team. And, they got to come play us here on Saturday, and it's a challenge.
Knowing that dirty water, as you say, though, that they've eaten and drank too, you know how hungry they're coming in. I mean, is that...
Oh, sure. We've all drank dirty water. We've all swept the stinky streets. I mean, we've all done that. I think it's maybe a similarity there. But again, I don't know enough internally to comment much about it. I just know that he's turned it around, and he's got a heck of a program and a heck of a football team in 2016, and that's all that matters. Nothing matters in the past. What matters is what he has now, and they're very talented. They play extremely hard.
When you look at what Jarviani obviously deserved a lot of credit for breaking the school record.
Sure.
But also the offense, you have guys blocking for him. The read option, they have to respect Zach's ability to run. How much of that record was kind of shared by the team, not just Jarviani?
Well, that's what happened. The first thing I did is I announced in the locker room that Jarvian broke the WMU single game rushing record. First thing Jarvian does is go hug his offensive line, get pictures with his offensive line. That's the type of team we have. It's not about us. Corey Davis receives, last game, before the game, receives a commemorative ball for being the all-time leading MAC receiver in yardage, all-time. Who's there all with him? His entire football team. Because it's all of us. There's Carrington Thompson on the outside blocking for him, catching balls, taking people off the box or out of the box. Michael Henry, Corey Davis, our offensive line, our tight ends who are very selfless. The other running backs, our quarterback who gets us in the right play, Coach Shiraka, Coach Callahan, Coach Burns. There's so much that goes into it. Our defense getting the ball back in good field position for us. Special teams setting up good field position. So again, it takes everybody, and everybody wants to focus on the individual efforts. One thing we've instilled from day one since we've been here: it's not about you. It has nothing to do with you. It has nothing to do with me. It has to do with all of us collectively working in sync, rowing the boat, same direction, same speed, same efficiency, and that's what we've said from day one. That's why we haven't got to this point, and all these new things are coming out. It's the same message. It's just we're way more mature. We understand that it's about us and what us really means. But the maturity to do what you have to do, becoming what you want to do, that defines this football team. They cannot wait to come to practice, which is a little strange, halfway towards the end of the season. But they love it, and we can't wait. We don't want them to see them go. We can't wait to have them, and then it's hard to see them go because you want to be around them. Everybody's infectious. Even our team meeting. I'll tell you later about our team meeting. Maybe not in here. I'll tell you after the game. But it might have been the most fun I've had in a team meeting in a very long time. But again, it was truly done with a purpose, and we got to continue to change our best.
Coach, you talked about hating to see them go, and we've got 3 home games left, and we've got Corey Davis and Taylor Moulton and Zach Terrell and several other special seniors. This is going to be the final 3 opportunities for local fans to see these kids. Can you speak to how lucky we are to have them here and how they really need to turn out to see these special kids before they leave Western?
Yeah, that's a great question, Al. I will say this, is that, this doesn't come around very often. Obviously, 109 years, this has never happened, okay? So when you talk about all of us dead and gone one day, and then our kids dead and gone one day, grandkids dead and gone one day, great-grandkids dead and gone, that's about as long as it takes to have around here something like that to happen. Now, from this point forward, you'd like it to continue to happen every single year and raise the expectations. But we have incredible people on this football team. Zach Terrell's one of the best people you'll ever meet in your entire life. I've always said for people that are going to hire him one day, if the NFL doesn't work out, guys that are going to hire him, put him right at the CEO. He doesn't have to work his way through it. Put him there. He's got incredible instincts, incredible leadership, and he'll run your company and take it through the roof because of the way he's trained and the way he's been trained with his family, his mom and dad, and then also, obviously, through our program and the adversity and the failing he's had to overcome already. That's priceless. Corey Davis, one of the greatest players ever to play this game, not just at Western Michigan, ever. And he's right here in Kalamazoo. Jarvion Franklin, Jamari Bogan, the offensive line you're going to see. We had 6 guys at the Children's Hospital yesterday again, visiting for an hour and a half, children that are way less fortunate than all of us. And we do that because we care. It's way different than just us. We're not doing that for publicity. We don't put that out there a lot. There's no a ton of news channels following us around. We do that because our program's not about them. It's not about you. It's not about me. It's about how we can serve and give other people. And you look on the defensive side. You look at Keon Adams, how far he's come. Watching Darius Phillips. It's very special to have this group, and I want people to enjoy them. We have a very different atmosphere at Waldo Stadium in the Boatyard. It's different. You can reach out, touch your players, talk to them. They come in from halftime, give them high fives. There's a family feel for everybody, our crowd, for us, for our community, to own our football team. We're kind of like the Packers. You have part ownership of our program, and I want you to feel that. And I want everybody in the state to feel that, and Bronco Nation to come back and feel that. And I want people to enjoy what they have because this, yes, it's everybody's saying, everybody's already 6 games ahead, everybody's 10 games ahead, everybody's 5 years down the road already. Enjoy what we have right now because this is very special, right? It's a 1-game season. We're 0-0, but enjoy it because this is really for all of you. This is really for Bronco Nation. This is for our community. This is for the Radisson. This is for Principal. This is for the Millennial Group. This is for, for everybody that enjoys Western Michigan athletics and football, our administration, our university. Our job is to go win games. Our job is to do what we do. We'll celebrate, I promise. I'll make sure I invite every single one of you, and we will celebrate at some point, and maybe at my house. And we'll celebrate it, but until then, this is for you guys. Us, we have a job to do. So, great question, Al. I'm just very passionate about our players. I love them dearly, and they're the reason why we're in this position.
Coach, just have to ask you, a lot has been...
You asking about the oar?
Yes, exactly.
Goodness gracious.
Did you want me to not ask?
No, Al, you can this. You can ask me anything. I'm just going to do this. How's this? I'm gonna quote Hillary Clinton via Michelle Obama. When they go low, you go high. How's that?
That's exactly how I expected you to handle things because we know how...
And I'm not telling you I'm a Democrat or a Republican.
We know the culture. I guess my question, though, is you knew
That wasn't good enough for Al.
occurred
Dang it.
prior to the game, but yet I understand from a few of the players that I've heard from that you didn't disclose that to them because you wanted them to focus on the game. You didn't use it as bulletin board type thing. Is that correct?
It's kind of.
Okay.
Because no and yes. I did tell them, right when I started my pregame speech, I did tell them that they broke an oar.
Okay.
Now, I didn't know the severity of what they did. But again, we're going to focus on us.
Right.
And people don't know what row the boat means. And you can't get necessarily overly sensitive about all those things because it really is our mantra and people are going to focus on us. That's great. We've had people focus on us for a very long time. We focus on ourselves. And even though it was, I won't even get into that, what the weekend was, but that had significance to me and my family of why Row the Boat was actually here. And that was the weekend to celebrate him passing. And so for that to happen on that weekend, it's just tacky. It's just a little bit classless. But again, that's sports. I mean, people are going to take things and try to motivate through other things. I was just always taught to do the right thing, focus on you, and don't let anybody else affect your program or get inside your program, and don't let anybody else's negative things towards you affect you. I was bullied. I was picked on. I was made fun of. I've always been the king of the twos. That has never took away from my focus, ever. And I will never let that take away from our players' focus. If they're focusing on you, then you're doing all the right things. Whether it's negative or positive, if they're talking about you, you're doing the right things. Even when we were 1-11, we're doing all the right things. We're doing it the right way. It'll come. There's a right way and there's a wrong way. And the hard way is really the right way. And a lot of people don't go that way. Well, we do. So again, I hopefully answered your question. But
with all the success comes a lot of attention, and it wasn't 5 minutes after Hazel got fired, your name was out there all over the place as a potential candidate at Purdue. This is going to happen a lot, obviously, this year. How do you keep the guys focused and, keeping this whole thing from being a distraction?
well, I think the biggest thing you ask is how do you keep 18 to 22-year-olds focused about anything, right? They get 100% of PJ Fleck every day. Everyone within our organization gets 100% of PJ Fleck every day, which I demand your 100% every single day in return, and we all hold each other accountable. I've been part of rumors, speculation my entire life, and that will never change. It's elite exposure for Western Michigan. My focus is on today, and that's the way I've lived my life. And you can go back to my past things. When we were 1-11, my focus is on today and changing our best. I can't control rumors, speculation, and I'll never comment on rumors and speculation, just like I did in year one or last year or the year before. I'm not interested in that. I'm interested in coaching this football team and being the best head coach I can be today, and that's all I'm focused on.
What does Eastern do on the field that's caused their turnaround?
They play extremely hard. They got a lot of players back. Last year they had a lot of people hurt. OC, the O'Connor kid, was hurt. They had linebacker Ike, he was hurt. They had a lot of people hurt. So, but I think they just play extremely hard. On offense, they do what everybody can handle. On defense, they play very sound, and they keep everything in front of them. So when you play sound defense, you don't turn the ball over. You play extremely hard. You give yourself a best chance to win, and they've won a lot of close games. If you can win some of those close games like we have in the past, you start to build that downward roll. That force that's really hard to stop. Once it gets rolling downhill, it's hard to stop, and they've done a tremendous job of that.